The Marvel mythos has never shied away from big ideas. Aliens, superpowers, cosmic events, and heroic resurrections have all been part of the formula since day one. But as the comics have developed, larger and larger concepts have come into play. Many of these concepts are so vast and abstract that they're nearly impossible to comprehend. As a result, cosmic beings have come into existence to personify these concepts and ground them in reality. Almost every hero has been involved in some way or another with a cosmic being, be they the embodiment of death, eternity, or otherwise. And these entities structure and control the Marvel Universe as we know it. With that in mind, here are the 10 most powerful and influential cosmic beings in Marvel history. Known as the Devourer of Worlds, Galactus is the sole survivor of a universe that existed before our own. When the Big Bang's event horizon appeared in his universe, he flew his spaceship directly into its core. There, he encountered the sentience of the universe, which merged with him as all matter was obliterated and reformed. Preserved by this being, Galactus floated through the new universe till he was inadvertently awakened by a Watcher, and discovered he was hungry. Now being a pure energy, Galactus found that only the sustenance of a planet could keep him alive. Thus the Devourer of Worlds was born. Soon, he began feeding on inhabited worlds, and came across the planet of Zen-La. On it, a brave individual named Nord-Rad swore to help Galactus find other planets to feed upon, provided that his own was spared. Galactus granted his wish, creating the Silver Surfer, who would become his herald, and one day his greatest nemesis. The Celestials are an incredible race of beings that are responsible for constructing the fabric of the multiverse, bringing it life and death, and giving humans the superpowers that defined comics. They were once numerous, but are reduced to roving hosts by a great war that took place eons ago. The Celestials experiment on various life forms, and visit planets to determine whether their inhabitants should continue to exist or not. The Celestials created superpowered mutants on Earth when they experimented on the apes that would one day evolve to become human. From the ape DNA, they created two offshoot races, the unsightly deviants and the godlike Eternals. This tampering allowed for mutations within all the races. In humans, they manifest as beneficial adaptations in times of stress, or become the X gene, which gave amazing abilities. In the Eternal race, mutants such as Thanos sometimes appeared. They were extremely powerful as well. The deviant race was all but wiped out when they foolishly attacked a host of Celestials visiting the Earth. For the Celestials are a race that exists outside our concept of reason, have no patience for lesser beings. The Phoenix Force is an all-encompassing energy field that feeds upon and embodies the feelings of passion and caring in the multiverse. The Phoenix Force is most commonly associated with Jean Grey. The two have an inexplicable bond, and could be described as soulmates. They were first introduced when a car hit Jean's childhood friend. As she lay dying, Jean used her telepathic powers to attempt to bring her friend back from death. This drew the attention of the Phoenix Force, who spared Jean's life. She was being pulled to the other side herself. Eventually, the Phoenix Force came to inhabit Jean's consciousness in a new body as her old one lay irradiated and dying. Together, they become one of the most powerful entities in the X-Men universe. However, the Phoenix Force found human emotion difficult to cope with. This disparity would give birth to the Dark Phoenix, whose hunger for destruction was so great that only the annihilation of an entire star system could satiate it. Amatsu Mikaboshi, also known as the Chaos King, is a primordial entity that embodies the void that existed before the creation of the universe. The character himself was created by Michael Oeming and Scott Collins, first appearing in Thor Blood Oath issue 6. The Chaos King is a very successful demonic being, managed to consume most of existence in the Chaos War saga. Mikaboshi began his crusade by murdering Nightmare, which rendered most of humanity unconscious. He then destroyed the various pantheons of Earth's gods, successfully murdering Zeus, Gaia, and Satan himself. The only thing that stood in his way was the God Squad, which was made up of Hercules, Thor, the Silver Surfer, Galactus, Venus, and Circe the Eternal. Despite their heroic efforts, the Chaos King still managed to destroy most of reality, and I think they decided the best option was to flee to a sealed-off continuum and instigate another Big Bang. Hercules, however, wished to go down fighting, and managed to hurl the Chaos King into the sealed-off continuum instead, thus banishing him. Hercules then expended all his immortal power to restore what Mikaboshi had destroyed, and lived the rest of his days as the mortal man. Death is a powerful and pervasive entity in the Marvel Universe, and often appears in a female form. Her most famous relationship is with Thanos the Mad Titan, who continues to go to great and terrible lengths to impress her, the only being he ever loved. Thanos first obtained the Cosmic Cube to take control of the universe, but Death abandoned him when Captain Marvel, Drax, and the Avengers defeated him. His next effort to woo her was even more ambitious, as he obtained the Infinity Gems in an effort to extinguish the stars and bring death to all beings. This plan also fell through when he was defeated yet again by Captain Marvel and Adam Warlock. Death is an eternal entity that will always be presented in the Marvel Universe, and takes lives as she chooses, even if her decrees are not permanent. Nobody stays dead in comics for long, after all. Eternity and infinity are nigh inseparable personifications of reality, with eternity appearing as male and infinity as female. Together they represent the fabric of space and time, and are in constant opposition to their negatives, death and oblivion. Eternity has appeared in comics far more often than his counterpart, first appearing in Strange Tales issue 138. He is at the trial of Reed Richards, who provided him the cosmic knowledge of Galactus' vital role in the universe. Also summoned by Hercules to help deal with Amatsu Mikaboshi, but Eternity refused, stating that fighting the Chaos King would be like fighting an aspect of himself. Eternity and Infinity have also been a part of Thanos' story arcs, and helped stop him from destroying the universe multiple times. They are most famously brought together in the Infinity War storyline, when a combined version of the two, a being that embodies all the universe was and ever will be, is released from the Infinity Gauntlet. Oblivion is one of the cornerstones of existence, and shares a close relationship with death. They are very similar in nature, as Oblivion is the embodiment of non-existence and nothingness. He lives in a realm known as the Outer Void, and split off a part of himself to have his daughter. She went to Earth and took the human form of Mirage, and allied herself with Iceman. The two of them turned against her father, who sent more of his children to subdue her. After a lengthy struggle, and the potential erasure of Iceman's existence, Mirage amicably returned to her father, who reabsorbed her into his essence. Oblivion has also undertaken his own plots to destroy the universe, and pervade non-existence. He attempted to use Maelstrom as his avatar to disrupt a black hole so it consume all matter. But his plot was thankfully stopped by his polar opposite, Infinity. The Beyonder is a near omnipotent being first appearing in Secret Wars issue 1, 1984. He was a being that was born outside the multiverse, and his powers the sum of an entire unknown reality. The Beyonder was intrigued by the concepts of good and evil, so he created a planet called Battleworld, rounded up a bunch of heroes and villains, and watched them duke it out. What he learned from this experiment was that there was a lot more to humanity than he realized, so he decided to become one and gain the human experience firsthand. Through this, he discovered love, pain, and perspective, and generally caused a lot of mischief. The Beyonder is usually content to simply be and observe, and though his power is greater than all the multiverse combined, he thankfully doesn't use it for any destructive purpose. The Living Tribunal is an incredibly powerful entity that stands for justice and balance, operating as a cosmic judge in all of realities. He first appeared in Strange Tales issue 157, determined to destroy Earth after Doctor Strange upset the cosmic balance by releasing a multidimensional being named Zom. Thankfully, Strange was able to convince the Living Tribunal that Earth was worth preserving, but learned that tampering with the forces of mystic anarchy is a serious crime. The Living Tribunal has three faces that use it to pass judgment. The first stands for equity, the second for revenge, and the third for necessity. All three must agree on a sentence before judgment can be passed. It's said that he once had a fourth face, which remains largely shrouded in mystery. When this draped face was revealed to She-Hulk, all she sees is a reflection of herself, suggesting that judgment must be thought about in a very personal manner. The Living Tribunal answers to only one force, and is the strongest cosmic being that can be comprehended in the multiverse. The One Above All is the most powerful cosmic entity in the Marvel mythos, being the very embodiment of the unknowable concept of the transcendent other. Basically, he's the one who set reality into motion. His power, knowledge, and my presence are beyond anything that can be comprehended, and He is the only one the living tribunal answers to. Essentially, the one above all made the rules. The living tribunal enforces them. Despite his unlimited power, the one above all is not beyond helping those he resides over. He comforted a grieving Peter Parker, form of a homeless man, showing him that all he did, even if it seemed negative, was for the greater good. He appeared to the Fantastic Four, promising years of extraordinary wonder ahead. He even spoke to Thanos, Adam Warlock, after the reality was destroyed, and restored it to being. The one above all is spoken of only in reverence, is the anchoring point for all power in the multiverse, and exists in transcendent harmony of all things. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below.